Have you ever noticed someone completely change their attitude the moment they realize you've uncovered the truth about them? It could be a friend, a colleague, or even a family member, someone who suddenly constructs a facade, trying to manipulate or sway you to protect their own interests. They might leave you questioning yourself, feeling isolated, or even wondering, am I overreacting? That unease isn't random. It's your instincts signaling that you're dealing with someone whose intentions may not be as genuine as they seem. But how do we identify and rise above their cunning tactics while maintaining our inner peace? Today, through the lens of Stoic philosophy, I'll guide you through 9 behaviors that deceptive people often exhibit when they realize you've seen through their facade. These aren't just warning signs to recognize. They're also opportunities to safeguard yourself from manipulation, deceit, and toxic energy. Together, let's uncover these truths and use them as stepping stones to build unshakable inner strength. Don't let toxic individuals rob you of the confidence and peace you rightfully deserve. What I'm sharing today is drawn from real experiences, distilled into valuable lessons to empower you. So stay focused and don't miss a single moment of this video. If you've ever faced similar situations, I invite you to share your story in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more transformative content. This isn't just your journey, it's one we're all walking together, learning and growing side by side. Number 1. They construct a new reputation. When someone with ill intentions realizes you've uncovered their true nature, their first instinct is often not to apologize or make amends, but to reinvent themselves. They meticulously craft a new version of their image, one that distances them from the truth you've uncovered. This new reputation is designed not only to confuse you, but also to protect their influence over others. It's an elaborate charade, carefully constructed to make you question your judgment. The fear of exposure drives this behavior. A damaged reputation could strip them of the power they wield, and they know that perception is everything. So, they go into damage control mode, painting themselves as misunderstood or reformed. Perhaps they'll claim that their previous actions were a result of circumstances beyond their control, or they'll weave a story that casts them as the victim of unfair judgment. These narratives are seldom genuine. They're strategic, aimed at casting doubt on your understanding of what's real. Imagine a co-worker who's been manipulating others to take credit for their ideas. When confronted, they don't admit fault. Instead, they start openly supporting team efforts, volunteering for tasks, and offering praise to colleagues. To those unaware of their past, this sudden transformation might seem like genuine personal growth. But for you, who have seen the patterns, it's difficult to overlook the dissonance between their past and their present. This tactic works because it takes advantage of your natural tendency to question yourself. Humans are wired to give others the benefit of the doubt, to hope for redemption, and to wonder if perhaps they've judged too harshly. And this is precisely what such individuals rely on: your moment of hesitation, your inclination to reassess. Here, Stoic wisdom offers clarity. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations wrote, "Do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others when you do not refer your thoughts to some object of common utility." These words remind us to avoid wasting time and energy on narratives that don't serve any constructive purpose. Instead, focus on their consistent actions over time. Words can deceive, but patterns of behavior rarely do. When faced with someone who is working hard to reconstruct their reputation, resist the urge to be swept up in their narrative. Hold steady to what you know to be true. Truth doesn't shift just because someone tries to obscure it. Watch their actions over a sustained period. Real change is consistent and takes time. It's not marked by sudden declarations of transformation. At the same time, protect your emotional boundaries. Don't let their attempts to manipulate the narrative create unnecessary turmoil within you. Stay calm, objective, and focused on your own sense of clarity. As Epictetus wisely said in the Discourses, "We are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them." The effort they put into constructing a new reputation often speaks volumes about their true priorities. It's not about personal growth. It's about maintaining power and control. By seeing through their attempts with calm discernment, you shield yourself from manipulation and preserve your inner peace. In doing so, you stay grounded, unshaken by their tactics, and firmly in control of your perspective. Number 2, they only show up when they need something. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to appear in your life only when they need something from you? At first, it might feel like they value your presence, but over time, a pattern emerges. They are nowhere to be found when you need their support. However, as soon as they require help, they reappear, ready to lean on your kindness. This behavior is one of the clearest signs of someone whose intentions are self-serving. When they realize you've uncovered their nature, their presence becomes even more calculated. This kind of person views relationships as transactional. Their goal isn't to build mutual respect or a genuine connection, but to extract what they need. They are masters of timing, appearing at the exact moment they believe they can gain something from you, be it your time, resources, or emotional support. And once they've achieved their goal, they vanish without a second thought. Take, for example, a friend who frequently reaches out to you for advice or assistance. Maybe they call you in times of crisis or when they need help navigating a problem. You give your time, energy, and empathy, believing that this is what friendship entails. Yet, when you face challenges or need their support, they are mysteriously unavailable. They offer excuses, claim to be too busy, or simply disappear. Over time, you realize the relationship is one-sided. They are present only when it benefits them. This realization can be deeply unsettling, especially if you value the relationship and want to believe in their sincerity. But here, Stoic philosophy provides a lens through which to understand and respond to this behavior. Marcus Aurelius offers a powerful reminder in Meditations. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Instead of investing your energy in relationships that drain you, focus on embodying the principles of kindness and integrity in a way that uplifts your life and preserves your inner peace. To handle such situations, the first step is setting clear boundaries. This doesn't mean cutting them off entirely or responding with anger. Instead, it's about recognizing the limits of your generosity and learning to say no with grace. If this person only values your relationship for what they can gain, your boundaries will reveal their true intentions. Someone who genuinely cares for you will respect your limits. Someone who doesn't will likely withdraw. Learning to refuse politely is an essential skill. For example, if they ask for your help during a particularly busy time, you can respond by saying, "I'd love to help, but I can't commit to this right now." This approach allows you to maintain your integrity while protecting your energy. Stoicism teaches us to act with kindness, but not at the expense of our own well-being. When someone only shows up when they need something, it's a reminder to prioritize reciprocal relationships, those where both parties invest in and support one another. Epictetus also emphasized the importance of autonomy, noting that we are in control of how we respond to others' actions. Instead of feeling resentment, see this as an opportunity to focus on connections that enrich your life. By recognizing and addressing this behavior, you not only protect yourself from emotional exhaustion, but also create space for genuine relationships built on trust and mutual respect. Staying grounded in Stoic principles helps you navigate these dynamics with clarity, strength, and, most importantly, peace. Number 3. They manipulate your emotions. One of the most subtle yet powerful tactics employed by manipulative individuals is emotional manipulation. When someone realizes you've seen through their facade, they often resort to exploiting your feelings to regain control. They prey on your kindness, empathy, and sense of responsibility, making you feel guilty or selfish for not complying with their requests. This is not just a coincidence, it's a deliberate strategy designed to make you doubt yourself and prioritize their needs above your own. Imagine a co-worker who frequently shirks responsibilities and conveniently asks you to take on their workload. Perhaps they approach you with an excuse, saying they're overwhelmed or dealing with personal challenges. You step in to help, believing it's the right thing to do. But over time, it becomes clear that this isn't a one-time favor. It's a pattern. When you try to set boundaries or refuse, they might say something like, "I thought you cared," or "I guess I was wrong to think I could rely on you." Their words sting, making you question whether you're being too harsh or unkind. This is how emotional manipulation works. It twists your natural empathy into a tool for their benefit. The effectiveness of this tactic lies in its subtlety. Manipulative people know that directly demanding something might provoke resistance, so they use your feelings as leverage instead. They might frame their needs in a way that makes you feel indispensable or suggest that refusing them would make you a bad person. This creates an emotional conflict within you, leaving you torn between protecting your own boundaries and satisfying their demands. In situations like these, the wisdom of Stoic philosophy becomes invaluable. Marcus Aurelius offers guidance in Meditations. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This reminds us to stay anchored in integrity, ensuring our actions align with what we know is right, even when faced with emotional pressure. It's a call to trust our judgment and not let others dictate our choices through guilt or manipulation. So, how can you protect yourself from emotional manipulation? First, practice recognizing the signs. If someone consistently makes you feel guilty or selfish for asserting your needs, it's a red flag. Remind yourself that their feelings are not your responsibility. While it's natural to empathize, you must distinguish between compassion and enabling harmful patterns. Second, learn to say no, firmly yet kindly. For example, if a co-worker tries to offload their tasks onto you, respond with, "I understand you're under pressure, but I have my own responsibilities to focus on right now." This approach acknowledges their situation without compromising your boundaries. It's a skill that requires practice, but over time, it will strengthen your confidence and self-respect. Lastly, detach emotionally from unreasonable requests. Manipulative people thrive on eliciting emotional responses, so staying calm and objective is crucial. Remind yourself that their attempts to guilt-trip you are reflections of their own insecurities, not your shortcomings. When faced with emotional manipulation, Stoicism teaches us to anchor ourselves in rationality and self-awareness. By mastering your emotions and asserting your boundaries, you reclaim your autonomy and protect your peace of mind. Remember, the freedom to make decisions aligned with your values is yours alone. Don't let anyone take that from you. Number 4. They create discomfort or negative energy. Sometimes you don't need concrete evidence to feel that something is off when someone realizes you've uncovered their true nature. They often exude a subtle yet palpable negative energy, even if they don't say or do anything outright. Their mere presence can create a sense of unease. It's not something you can easily articulate, but it's undeniable, like walking into a room where tension hangs heavy in the air. This discomfort isn't accidental. Manipulative individuals know how to project negativity in ways that are hard to pinpoint, but impossible to ignore. They may use veiled comments, ambiguous body language, or even silent stares that leave you questioning yourself. Their goal is to keep you unsettled, making you doubt your perceptions and second-guess your instincts. Imagine having a friend who always seems to have an underlying tone in their words. They never openly criticize you, but their comments often carry a subtle edge. For instance, they might say something like, "It must be nice to have everything handed to you," after you've shared a success. You leave the conversation feeling uneasy, unsure if they meant it as a compliment or a jab over time. These small, seemingly insignificant remarks build up, eroding your confidence and creating an atmosphere of negativity. This kind of interaction taps into a deeply human response. Our tendency to seek harmony and avoid conflict instead of addressing the discomfort directly. We might try to rationalize it or convince ourselves that we're overthinking. But the truth is, this unease often stems from an accurate, instinctive reading of the situation, as Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This powerful insight reminds us that while external negativity may persist, how we perceive and respond to it is entirely within our control to navigate this. The first step is to trust your intuition. Your instincts are your mind's way of processing subtle cues that your conscious awareness might miss if being around someone consistently leaves you feeling drained or unsettled. Listen to that feeling. It's your internal compass guiding you to protect your peace. Second, consider creating distance. This doesn't mean cutting people off abruptly or without explanation, but it does mean prioritizing your emotional well-being. Reduce the time you spend around those who radiate negativity and focus on nurturing relationships that uplift and energize you. This act of setting boundaries is not selfish, it's essential for maintaining your inner balance. Finally, adopt a mindset of detachment when someone's negative energy threatens to invade your mental space. Remind yourself that you have the power to choose your reaction. Epicus in the Discourses stated, "You may fetter my leg, but my will not. Even Zeus himself can overpower." This serves as a reminder that your inner peace is untouchable. If you choose to protect it, negative energy is insidious. It creeps in slowly, often unnoticed, until it begins to cloud your thoughts and affect your mood. Recognizing this early and responding with clarity and calmness is key. By trusting your instincts, maintaining boundaries, and reframing your response, you protect your peace and create space for positivity to flourish. Stoic philosophy reminds us that while we can't control the actions or energy of others, we can always control how we let it affect us. Choose peace over turmoil, clarity over confusion, and your well-being over their negativity. Number 5. They lie to cover up other lies. One of the most telling behaviors of a deceitful person is their inability to confront the truth. When someone realizes you've uncovered their dishonesty, they often double down, weaving even more elaborate lies to cover their tracks. This behavior is both a defense mechanism and a strategy to confuse you, making it harder for you to pinpoint what's real and what's fabricated. Imagine a close friend who has been less than truthful with you. Perhaps you catch them in a lie, something small at first, like why they missed an important event. When you confront them, instead of admitting their mistake, they spin a complex story. They might blame circumstances, other people, or even you for misinterpreting their intentions. Each time you press for clarity, the story grows more convoluted until you're left doubting your initial observations. This pattern is not accidental. By piling lies on top of lies, they create a web of confusion designed to wear you down. Over time, you may start to question your judgment or even feel guilty for doubting them. This tactic, while manipulative, is rooted in their fear of accountability. Admitting the truth would mean facing the consequences of their actions, something they are unwilling or unable to do. As frustrating as this can be, Stoic philosophy offers a way to navigate such situations with clarity and composure. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This simple yet profound guidance underscores the importance of integrity. Lies, no matter how cleverly spun, cannot change the essence of truth. Your task is to remain steadfast in what you know to be true, even as others try to distort it. So, how do you respond when someone lies to cover up other lies? The first and most important step is to avoid getting entangled in their web of deceit. Don't waste your energy arguing or trying to untangle their stories. It's a losing battle. Instead, focus on the facts. Keep track of the concrete evidence and let that guide your understanding of the situation. For example, if your friend claims they missed an event because of an emergency, but you later discover they were elsewhere, you don't need to confront them with every inconsistency. Simply recognize the discrepancy and trust what you know. Arguing over their excuses only gives them more opportunities to manipulate the narrative. Next, practice emotional detachment. Lies are designed to provoke a reaction, whether it's anger, confusion, or guilt. By remaining calm and composed, you deny them the satisfaction of controlling your emotions. As Epictetus advised in the Discourses, when someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. This serves as a reminder that your self-worth and clarity come from within, not from their attempts to cloud your perception. Finally, set boundaries. If someone repeatedly lies to you, it's a sign that they do not respect your trust or your relationship. Protect yourself by limiting your interactions and prioritizing relationships built on honesty and mutual respect. Dealing with someone who lies to cover up other lies can be exhausting, but it also reveals a valuable truth. Their actions are not a reflection of your worth, but of their own fear and insecurity. By staying anchored in the principles of truth and self-control, you not only shield yourself from their manipulation, but also cultivate the inner strength to rise above their deceit. Stoic wisdom reminds us that while we can't control others' actions, we can always choose how we respond. And choosing truth over confusion is a powerful act of self-respect. Number 6. They pretend not to know they're wrong. One of the most frustrating tactics malicious people use when they realize you've uncovered their true nature is feigning ignorance. They act as though they have no idea what they've done or that their actions have caused harm. This behavior isn't just an attempt to dodge accountability, it's also a deliberate strategy to make you doubt yourself. By pretending they're oblivious, they shift the focus away from their wrongdoing and onto your reaction, often making you feel like the unreasonable one. Imagine being in a situation with your partner or a close friend who has clearly wronged you. Perhaps they broke a promise or said something hurtful. When you confront them, instead of acknowledging their actions, they respond with confusion. "I don't understand why you're upset," or "Why didn't you tell me this was bothering you?" They play the role of the innocent, claiming they didn't know their actions had consequences. Worse, they might even accuse you of overreacting, subtly twisting the narrative to make you question your feelings. This tactic works because it targets a deeply human tendency, the desire to seek resolution and understanding in relationships. When someone you care about feigns ignorance, it can trigger self-doubt. You start to wonder if you've miscommunicated or if you're being unfair. This is exactly what they want, to make you second-guess your reality so they can avoid accountability. Here, Stoic philosophy offers valuable guidance. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This insight emphasizes the importance of trusting your own perceptions and not allowing others to manipulate your reality. When someone pretends not to know they're wrong, your ability to remain grounded in your understanding becomes your greatest defense. To navigate this behavior, the first step is to trust your intuition. If their actions made you feel hurt or betrayed, those feelings are valid. Your emotions are important indicators of what's happening, even if they try to convince you otherwise. Acknowledge your experiences and resist the urge to explain or justify them excessively. Second, set firm boundaries. When someone uses feigned ignorance as a tactic, it's often to evade accountability or prolong the conflict. By calmly stating your observations and refusing to engage in unnecessary debate, you reclaim control of the conversation. For example, you might say, "I've already explained how this made me feel, and I'm not going to revisit it again." This approach prevents them from derailing the discussion and puts the focus back on their actions. Finally, maintain emotional detachment. Their behavior is not a reflection of your worth or communication skills. It's a reflection of their unwillingness to take responsibility. As Epictetus wisely stated in Discourses, when you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. This advice doesn't mean excusing their actions, but rather shifting your focus to how you respond. By choosing calmness and clarity, you rise above their attempts to destabilize you. When dealing with someone who pretends not to know they're wrong, remember that their actions are a choice, not an accident. Trust in your perceptions, hold your boundaries, and refuse to let them rewrite your reality. Stoic philosophy teaches us that while we cannot control others' behavior, we can control our reactions, and in doing so, we preserve our peace and protect our integrity. Number 7, they make you feel stupid. When someone realizes you've seen through their facade, they might try to regain control by making you feel inferior or foolish. This tactic isn't accidental. It's a calculated effort to undermine your confidence and distort your perception of reality. By sowing seeds of self-doubt, they aim to make you second-guess your judgment and feel reliant on their approval. Consider a situation with a co-worker or friend who always seems to have a dismissive or sarcastic response to your ideas. For example, you propose a suggestion during a meeting, and they respond with a smirk and a remark like, "Well, that's one way to look at it," leaving the room chuckling at your expense. These subtle yet cutting remarks aren't overt enough to call out, but leave you feeling humiliated and unsure of yourself. Over time, these jabs erode your confidence, making you question whether you're truly capable. This tactic works because it preys on a universal human vulnerability, the need to be seen as competent and respected. When someone continuously chips away at this sense of self, they create a power dynamic where you begin to look to them for validation, inadvertently handing them control. Stoic philosophy offers a profound way to counter this manipulation. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations wrote, "Don't be overheard complaining, not even to yourself." This reminds us to stop internalizing negativity and focus instead on maintaining our composure and inner strength. External comments or judgments, no matter how biting, do not define our worth. To navigate such situations, the first step is recognizing the tactic for what it is, a deliberate attempt to diminish your confidence. Acknowledge that their behavior says more about their own insecurities than it does about your abilities. Often, people who resort to such tactics are projecting their own fears or feelings of inadequacy onto others. Second, build resilience by anchoring your self-worth internally. Confidence doesn't come from external validation. but from knowing your strengths, values, and achievements. Take time to reflect on your past successes and remind yourself of the qualities that make you unique. The more grounded you are in your own abilities, the less power their words will hold. Third, address their behavior calmly if necessary. For instance, if someone makes a dismissive remark, respond assertively, but without aggression. You could say, "I'd appreciate constructive feedback rather than comments like that." It helps us all move forward more effectively. This kind of response not only sets a boundary, but also demonstrates your confidence. Finally, practice emotional detachment. Remember Epictetus' advice in Discourses. If someone speaks ill of you, don't defend yourself against their accusations, but instead reply, "You obviously don't know me well, or you would have mentioned other faults." This perspective reframes negativity as irrelevant to your self-concept, empowering you to stay calm and centered in the face of criticism. When someone tries to make you feel stupid, it's a reflection of their own insecurities, not your capabilities. By recognizing their behavior, reaffirming your worth, and maintaining composure, you protect yourself from their manipulation. Stoicism reminds us that true confidence comes from within, and no external words can diminish that unless we allow them to. Choose to rise above, and in doing so, reclaim your power. Number 8. They become aggressive or threatening. When someone with malicious intentions realizes you've uncovered their true nature, they might resort to aggression or threats as a way to regain control. This behavior is often their last line of defense, aimed at silencing you or intimidating you into retreating. It's a clear signal of their desperation to protect the facade they've carefully built. Imagine a scenario where a co-worker has been taking credit for others' work, and you've decided to confront the issue or escalate it to management. Upon learning of your intentions, they may turn hostile, accusing you of plotting against them or threatening to tarnish your reputation. Their words and actions are calculated to make you second-guess your decision, filling you with anxiety about potential consequences. This tactic works because it taps into our instinct to avoid conflict. Most of us would prefer to keep the peace rather than engage in a confrontation, especially with someone displaying aggression. By becoming threatening, these individuals aim to exploit this natural aversion, creating fear that holds you back from taking further action. Stoicism provides a powerful lens for handling such situations. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, advises, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This serves as a reminder that true strength comes from within, not from external validation or coercion. When faced with aggression, your ability to remain upright, calm, composed, and confident becomes your strongest defense. The first step in responding to aggression is to remain calm. Aggressive individuals thrive on provoking an emotional reaction, whether it's fear, anger, or panic. By maintaining your composure, you deny them the satisfaction of destabilizing you. Take a moment to breathe and gather your thoughts before responding. A calm demeanor not only protects your mental state, but also signals that their tactics are ineffective. Next, protect yourself by documenting the situation. If someone becomes hostile or threatening, keep a detailed record of their words and actions. Save emails, texts, or notes from conversations, and if possible, involve neutral witnesses. Documentation not only serves as a safeguard against false accusations, but also empowers you to take appropriate action if their behavior escalates. Avoid escalating the conflict. Aggression often seeks to draw you into a power struggle where emotions run high. Instead, respond with measured and factual statements. For instance, if they make a baseless accusation, calmly reply, "I hear your concern, but I'd prefer we discuss this with clear facts. This approach disarms their hostility and recenters the conversation on objectivity. Epictetus in Discourses reminds us, "It is not the events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about those events." By reframing aggression as a desperate attempt to control the narrative, you can view it with detachment and clarity. When someone becomes aggressive or threatening, recognize it for what it is, a reflection of their fear and insecurity, not your wrongdoing. By staying calm, protecting yourself with evidence, and seeking support when needed, you can navigate their hostility with confidence and composure. Stoic principles empower you to rise above their attempts to intimidate and remain true to your values, no matter the challenges you face. Number 9. They seek to isolate you. The final and often most insidious tactic of manipulative individuals is attempting to isolate you. Once they realize you've seen through their facade, their next move may be to sever your connections with others. They achieve this by spreading rumors, sowing doubt, or turning others against you. This isn't just an attack on your reputation, it's a calculated effort to leave you without allies, making you more vulnerable and easier to control. Imagine this scenario. You've noticed unethical behavior from a coworker and have begun to speak out or express concerns. In response, they start whispering to other colleagues, spinning stories that paint you as overly critical, unreliable, or even malicious. Soon, you notice a change in how others treat you. Colleagues become distant, and invitations to group discussions or social gatherings start to dwindle. You're left wondering if you've done something wrong when, in reality, this isolation is a deliberate strategy to silence and disempower you. Why does this tactic work? Because humans are inherently social beings, and the fear of ostracism is deeply rooted in our psyche. Being cut off from a community, whether at work, in social circles, or within a family, can feel destabilizing, making it harder to stand firm in the face of manipulation. The more isolated you feel, the more likely you are to second-guess your own actions and succumb to their influence. But Stoicism offers a path to resilience. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, writes, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." This vivid metaphor reminds us to remain steadfast, no matter how much external forces try to destabilize us. When others seek to isolate you, your strength lies in standing firm and refusing to be swayed by their efforts. The first step in addressing this behavior is recognizing it for what it is, a deliberate attempt to weaken your support system. Once you see through their strategy, you can take proactive steps to counteract it. Begin by nurturing your genuine relationships, those built on trust and mutual respect. Speak openly with the people you trust about the situation. Transparency can often dismantle the manipulator's efforts to spread falsehoods. Second, resist the urge to retreat into silence. Isolation thrives when you disengage, so remain visible and active within your community. Participate in group discussions, maintain your professional or social presence, and show through your actions that the rumors are unfounded. People are more likely to see through the manipulator's tactics when they witness your integrity firsthand. Finally, cultivate an unshakable inner strength. Epictetus in Discourses reminds us, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." Don't let others' opinions or actions define your self-worth. Focus on what you can control, your own behavior, words, and mindset. By doing so, you maintain your sense of identity and purpose, regardless of their attempts to isolate you. When someone tries to isolate you, it's often because they fear the strength you hold with others. Instead of succumbing to their tactics, Use this as an opportunity to fortify your relationships, assert your integrity, and rise above their schemes. In doing so, you not only protect yourself, but also inspire those around you to see through the manipulator's facade. Stoicism teaches us to remain like the unyielding cliff, steadfast and unwavering. Grounded, no matter how turbulent the waters around us become. When malicious individuals realize you've uncovered their true nature, their reactions often follow a predictable pattern. First, they may try to reinvent their reputation, crafting a new narrative to confuse you and others. They might only show up when they stand to gain something or manipulate your emotions, exploiting your kindness to regain control. They create discomfort through negative energy or resort to lies that build upon each other, weaving a web of deceit. At times they pretend ignorance, claiming they didn't know they caused harm, or they belittle you, making you feel foolish to undermine your confidence. They may escalate to aggression or threats to silence you. Finally, they seek to isolate you, severing your connections to leave you vulnerable. Understanding these signs isn't just about recognizing toxic behaviors. It's about empowering yourself to respond wisely. By identifying these tactics, you protect your peace, maintain your clarity, and refuse to let manipulation dictate your actions. The purpose of this awareness isn't to retaliate or avoid challenges, but to approach them with a sense of calm and control. Stoicism doesn't teach us to avoid or attack evil. It teaches us to face it with composure and intellect. This philosophy reminds us that while we cannot always change the actions of others, we can control how we respond. By doing so, we rise above their influence and remain true to our values. Have you faced similar situations in your life? How did you handle them? Share your experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear your insight and learn together how to navigate life's challenges with strength and clarity. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to share it with others who might benefit and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on more practical and inspiring content. Together, let's build a community of resilience and wisdom.